Recording in progress. I don't actually know if it said that because I don't have my headphones in.
It'll say at the top left.
You're top left.
Nice.
Hello. Okay.
Is there a little recording thing at the top left?
Yeah.
It better be.
Top left. Zoom meeting. Recording. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Oh my fuck. Right. Let me get this wine and warm myself up.
And that's it. Hey.
What is it with you and the awful theme tune today?
I don't know.
Okay. Warning, this podcast may contain bad language and content that some listeners may find offensive.
And something or some stuff that people provided to us, but not everything.
Do you think if I said content, people would have noticed?
Did you say that?
So you didn't notice.
I didn't.
I guess you'll have to listen to it back.
So there you go. Restart the episode. Not for the listener count at all.
Or even for the comedy value, it seems, in the start of this one.
No. We haven't been funny since episode 35, mate.
I don't like it.
Record in a big chunk, and then we just go on hiatus, basically.
Oh, we said the same word. Lame.
Yeah, that is lame. So we are back in a swapping studio. We waited till the middle of a heat wave before we're like, oh, well, we might as well do it again.
Standard.
Yeah. Well, we did last time.
Yep.
It was ridiculously fucking hot. And it's really hot today as well. And I stink. I can smell me. It's gross. I'm not showering before we record.
I had the courtesy to do that.
Yeah, because you did a workout.
Well, so you were outside as well.
I was, but I wasn't doing any exercise. I was telling you to do stuff. So, how are things, Strongman Cleves?
Hopefully, I'm getting healthier.
Well, if you're only getting healthier, then we're not working hard enough.
Well, getting pumped.
Please never say that in a sweaty room with me again.
Hey, you're not the one pumping.
I don't know if that's better. So it's great to be back. We actually have been working whilst being on hiatus.
On a nouveau project.
Yes, which I am going to drop a teaser of it. Not the actual edited teaser, but yeah, with my voice. We have been working on something with Knights of the Grail and Chadlington of Hindsight is 2200, haven't we?
Is that how he likes to be known?
It's how he's going to be known.
Okay.
So we have been working on a little project to be released in, we'll see.
September.
September.
We'll nail it for September.
Yeah. So this is going to be a new show. The first episode will be on this feed as well as the other guys' podcast streams. And then the rest, you'll have to go to the new show feed. And do you want to tease the name of that show, Cleves?
Nope. Not till closer to the time.
Needs to say...
The beast was stunned. Oh, whip crack!
I'm not cutting that out either. But this project is coming in September. It is to do with Knights of the Grail, so you can probably put things together and realise what we're doing to an extent. But yeah, it was great fun to do it. It wasn't as warm when we were doing those recording, which was great. That was good fun. And there were a lot of funny moments. And a yappy dog. Nah, we love you, Chad. We love you. These things happen, mate. These happen. Yeah. The next time, I don't know. Rohypnol.
It's not going to make a great recording if he's on Rohypnol.
You know I meant the dog.
Oh, okay.
It's just sweet inside.
All right, on to today. Do you have any quick blind news?
I do.
Ooh.
Da, 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 da. So, I don't really have a source for this. I read it on Reddit. So there have been some implants of protein, like protein implants, into the back of eyes, and it is doing really well in curing blindness to the point where 3 totally blind people have now got 20/20 vision after a year of these implants doing what they need to do.
Can someone ring the bullshit foghorn? Bullshit.
Well, like I said, I don't have the source of it, but I could probably find one if I could be bothered.
Coming at you next week. Definitely not the source of that.
And you saw somebody coming at you next week as a barbecue sauce. And what we've been doing on the slide, it'd probably be the recipe for one.
Nice. T, for the benefit of those that don't have YouTube, would you like to describe your hat of the week?
What are we doing this now? Do you know any quick blind news?
No, I fucking don't.
Oh,
Quick blind news is over right now.
Okay. My hat of the week, and I hope you have a hat of the week jingle.
You got the hat nerd one. I'll just bang that in.
Paris hat. It's white with
Premature.
red. Oh, it is premature. And you've put my mind out. You made it weird. It's completely white with gold accenting with like the cockerel of France. It's like they're known for having the cockerel sort of thing. But it's like gold accenting on that with the Olympic rings. So,
And you know what they say? You can't spell cockerel without rel.
I was going to say you can't spell cockerel without France.
Okay. What about Le Coq Sportif? Did you have any of that in the 90s?
No.
People who wore LS looked down on people that wore Le Coq Sportif.
Yes. I was more than Elise, man.
Oh, was you really?
Yeah. Elise, a brand that doesn't know. I don't think it exists anymore. I thought I could find it somewhere. So, Cleves, what are we doing this week?
We are masturbating volume 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I was going to say that this is listener mail, but this isn't really listener mail because a few of them are.
Some of them are female.
That is true. And some of them are non-binary. But we reached out to the community to get their thoughts on this, and we have some things to go over.
So now, dog versus cane, people. This is what it's going to be about.
Yep.
In case you haven't heard the last two.
Yep. And these are not our thoughts. These are people on Reddit and Twitter who will use their handles, who won't use proper names. And because I can't really read because of visual reasons, we're going to have our brand new co-host, Estaban, read them all.
Are we sticking with that name?
I mean, you got a better name?
Keith.
Keith is a shit. For Estaban.
Fine, we'll stick with Estaban.
Okay. So, of course, these are the views of people through Reddit and Twitter. We put it out on the Reddit and the Twitter to see what people thought about it. We don't really use Facebook. And we are going to see how many people agree with Cleves as far as Kane and how many agree with me as far as Dog. There might be a curveball at the end. So, we'll see how this goes. So, Mr. E, do you want to tell us the first one?
I'm a bit of an oddity as the disabilities I have had the longest are not related to my /vision, and those disabilities brought me into independently training my own service dog. It was during the time that my first service dog was working that my vision deteriorated to needing more assistance navigating, but as my vision is best classified as complicated, none of the eye doctors I have seen have been able or willing to assist me in accessing tools that I need like O&M training. So I self-taught myself some watching blind YouTubers and thoroughly studying YouTube videos of guide dogs working to dissect what it was they were doing to train it myself to fill the many gaps that I had. So now, even though my first girl is retired and my second is too young for harness training, yet I am definitely a guide dog user out of necessity more so than preference at this point. Though if I am honest, I suspect that any cane skills I do get given the opportunity will be for situations when the dog can't work for one reason or another. The fact is that even when my vision is operating enough to allow me to navigate independently, or even before my vision problems, my dog has allowed me to travel with more confidence due to my ability to process information about my surroundings being so newer in the realm of the 5th percentile, meaning my ability to be aware of a developing situation and respond to it has always been incredibly slow, especially in busy or loud environments. My dog will stop at things that I might not have even realized were there, like the road, and wait for my next command. Even if that might take 5 minutes to work through the information I know about the situation and what I should do next, versus something the truncated domes I might realize were there a minute after I had already passed them, so that I am now in the road by some distance. The fact is, the simple act of the dog stopping for things like stairs, curbs, or blocked pathways means I am not in danger by the time I am problem solving my way through the situation.
Is there any more than that? Was that the end of it?
That was it.
Okay. Let's get a few things clear.
Oh, and this is
What?
Maple Paws on Reddit.
Okay.
I didn't say who it was.
What was his name?
Maple Paws.
Why don't you just call himself Sticky Feet?
I mean, that's a different subreddit.
Okay. Anyway, Estaban, does he take into account punctuation? Because he seems to put pauses in the oddest places.
We're not criticizing Estaban on this episode. Estaban is a saint.
Well, I'd just like to bring that up.
He just condensed pretty much 100 words into the space of 45 seconds to a minute.
Right. So it's called talking.
Yeah.
Right.
Which that would have taken me a lot longer to read.
Okay. What if you had it in your ear and you narrated it as it was speaking?
Because that'd be really confusing and hard.
Okay.
And I like having another co-host. He doesn't backsass me.
Next time we're getting Keith in.
Okay. So this feedback.
Right. Two things I need to address out of this. One, they said that they have problems processing the surroundings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the dog is useful in that scenario where a cane wouldn't be. I'll hold my hands up and say that is absolutely true, and that the dog would be better in this person's particular situation.
Yeah.
However, what they also said is sometimes that dog ain't working.
Okay. It is a bit of a counterpoint. Yeah, I get that. But you've got to remember that they also prefaced this by saying that they had to train their own dog. I assume they're in the US because they call it a service dog.
Yeah, and they said O&M as well.
Yeah. So they had to train it themselves. So you can't really criticize them for training their own dog based off of YouTube videos. It's not going to be perfect, is it? Hasn't got 100 years of like experience and like training for service dogs.
Also, this is me being an arse.
So just not even going to acknowledge that.
What? Yeah, going back to that. But okay, all right, yeah. I mean, if you've got to train your own dog, then I don't know. Maybe you might turn out to be better than guide dogs in the UK. Who knows? You might just have a natural flair for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just won't do certain things, I would assume.
Yeah.
I base this on, I'm going to say, slim to no knowledge of training a guide dog.
It's fair.
What I will also say is, you don't have to say, I self-taught myself, because one implies the other.
Okay, now you're being a bit
That was me being a pedantic asshole, yes.
Yeah.
However, this person does raise a good point about the, if you've got issues processing your surroundings, then the dog would be good in most scenarios. Apart from if, for example, you have a heat wave, in which case I imagine you're not taking your dog out, are you? Because the pavement's like 75 fucking degrees.
Yeah, that's true. But yes, situational awareness, really important for a dog, which a cane doesn't have. It's all on you, baby. True.
But if I wanted to go out today, I'd have to use that cane because the dog would be fucked.
True. I'm not gonna argue that. I've been working from home this week for a reason, which I had the luxury to do. Not everyone does. Okay, ready for the next feedback?
Hit me up, Estaban.
So this is Vicky7789 on Reddit.
Oh, she's got my birthday.
Yep. And I'm going to wait for that train to go. I'm going to say it again.
She's a year younger than me as well. To the day.
Yeah.
Assuming that's her birthday.
It could have been. She could be a lot older. That might be the year of birth.
77.
Yeah.
You would assume the 7th of the 7th, 89.
Or it might be the 77th year, and be August, and be the 9th day of that, because Americans. Yeah.
Get it the right way around, people.
Okay, so Vicky 7789. This is what they said on Reddit. Ezzy, hit us up.
I'm low vision but with reduced peripheral vision and depth perception issues, so not severe enough for a guide dog. Also, no issues of access refusals with a cane.
Oh, baby.
Okay, so yes, this is something we did not touch upon. That is something you have to deal with as a guide dog user, the access refusals. Now, this could be an episode in itself, but I have to agree with this individual on this situation, because, like, yes, you got a piece, you got a stick. Like, they can't refuse a stick. So
They might just be disableist.
or ableist.
Whatever. I don't know fucking words. It's too many words, man. Discriminatory. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
One that covers all.
Yeah, fuckers. So yeah, I imagine you agree with this individual.
Have you been refused a guide dog entry into somewhere?
Yes.
When?
Not this year.
Oh. Would you say that people are getting better, more attuned to it?
I would say I'm better at knowing where I'm going to have problems, and I avoid them.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not. That means it is very prevalent, but it happens all the time. Just go onto Twitter and just type in guide dog refusal into the search bar, and I guarantee you'll find something that happened today.
When was the last time that you had a guide dog that was refused somewhere?
Would have been when Wes was working, so a few years ago.
And
Well,
what was he refused on?
It was actually the taxi that was in our episode about public transport. That's the last time where they basically just cancelled on us and refused to send another taxi until I went mental down the phone to them. So I agree, that is something that happens. It is getting better, as Selena pointed out in a few episodes ago. There is now a reporting in the UK, an app to report this to guide dogs.
Called? That's right. We don't do our research here at Seesaw.
Yeah.
We let you know that it exists, and you can fucking Google it yourself.
Refer to another episode about feedback to see how much we researched.
Yeah, Jesus. No, we're not the best at this, are we?
No.
We never claim to be people.
Yeah, well.
We do what you do. Minimal research.
Exactly. Okay, ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a fair few to get through. So, this is Razretina on Reddit. Loving the alliteration there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Ezzy doesn't like to say the first words.
You're calling it Ezzy now?
Yeah.
Right.
Ezzy is not going to say the word both, but that's the first word they say.
Just because you have a dog doesn't mean you'll never use your cane again. I like that I don't walk face first into every low-hanging branch with my dog, but basically cane and dog do the same thing. With a cane you get a very tactile sense of everything around you, while a dog allows you to avoid obstacles in a less direct manner. It's hard to say why I have a dog, as I like my cane just fine. She helps bring the world to me, and it's nice having a buddy around all the time, even if she's a lot of work.
Several things to unpack there.
It's very balanced.
One, the branch thing. Yes, in theory, the dog will clock that. In actuality, do they?
Well, more so than a cane would do.
Yeah,
established this last time.
Okay, yeah.
A cane will do it 0% of the time.
Yeah, a dog will do it some.
Whereas a dog will do it some. And any markup on 0% is an improvement.
True that. The companion thing, yeah, I get that.
Well, you're heartless, so.
Well, you know, it's a thing, isn't it? But then it leads me on to the other thing. They're a lot of work. If I'm going to get a pet, maybe I'll just get a cat, because you just put some food and water out for it and leave it, don't you? You don't really need to do a lot. Clean the litter tray out once a day.
It's pointless. Like a child, you're just feeding and providing for someone that doesn't love you.
An insight into your childhood there.
Don't say insight, it's offensive. and he's outside.
Okay. What?
So Razretina, yes, I agree.
Here's my other thing, right? If you've got a stick and you can use a stick just fine, why have you got a dog?
Because it's situational, isn't it? I will still use my. Like today, I went to the shops and I used my cane.
Yeah, no, but you don't really use. The thing is, you don't really use your cane, whereas you rely on the dog. The cane's there for you. It's like a sort of symbol cane, and then you just sort of wing it.
I absolutely wing it. I know the route, and I expect things will happen. The cane is more to have an excuse when something inevitably
Exactly.
goes
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I use my cane to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But but for me, I use my cane also. I use it properly to get about, whereas you use the guide dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're already using a cane properly, like myself, and you don't, this person's basically said they were interchangeable, right? That's kind of what I read from it.
They said it was situational,
Okay.
which I get. But it's a very,
Okay, then.
very expensive situational thing.
Yeah.
It's like having an extra thing on your Swiss Army knife, but it costs 50 grand.
And you've already got a knife that does most of the things for you.
Well, that's debatable. The knife ain't going to keep you warm at night.
Right. I didn't realize you slept with your dog, to be honest.
I don't, but I know some people who do. Okay. You ready for the next one?
Can I just make the point that if you already use a cane well, should you be getting a guide dog? I'm just going to ask that question.
Well, there might be a feedback piece coming up that will answer that.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on.
Okay. So, Parakeet Veet on Reddit.
I hope to God they've got a parakeet.
I hope they do.
And wax a lot.
And again, Estaban is not going to read the first word, and that says cane.
But I hate it. I only have macular holes / edema, so it's my central vision that's gone. So I can see, but I also walk into things all the time.
So they use a cane and they hate it. Now,
Why? They're not. Why? If your central vision's gone, right, and you're using a cane, how is that not picking shit up? Maybe you hate your cane because you're not fucking using it properly.
maybe. Well, we don't know that. They might be using it perfectly, but we don't know their circumstance.
How though? How are you walking into things that are right directly in front of you if you have no vision and you're swinging the cane?
It might be head height stuff. Central vision ain't picking that shit up.
All right, yeah, that's a good point.
So it might be one of those situations, like head height stuff, the cane ain't doing it.
I can't think of another scenario where that would be the case.
I don't know. Someone holding out a high five. Missed all of those. Embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, the shaking hands and the high five thing is an embarrassing thing anyway.
Yeah, we ain't even really covered that on the show, but yeah, that is.
So
People will say
quirk
to
of being
me,
visually impaired, yeah.
hand, and they sort of like fondle the air until they get to you.
Yeah. It's best to initiate.
Oh yeah. Always lead.
Mm.
Lead with the right.
Never follow.
Nope.
All right. So on that one then, what's the conclusion on that? What are your thoughts on it? Because I don't know. I don't personally get that. From a person that uses a cane all the time, it doesn't make sense to me that it's not picking it up if you're missing central vision.
I think they need to probably brush up on cane training. It sounds like they're using it as more of a symbol and winging it like I do. But if by the sounds of it, you need to have more comprehensive training, maybe, because you're getting frustrated with it. Like when I wing it with my cane, I can't get angry when I get a bollard in the nuts because that's entirely on me. I know how to use a cane properly. I'm just lazy.
Well, you're kind of implying they are as well.
I'm not implying that. I'm just saying they might
That's the
not
way it's going to go down on socials, mate.
They might not have the skills they need.
Tony, do you want me to put a target on your back right now?
Please don't. It's too hot. I don't want more layers.
Yeah. No, you won't, because you'll be taking your t-shirt off, baby.
I'm not taking my t-shirt
It'll
off.
be naked painting.
And then it'd be even more unchild
Body
friendly.
painting.
Oh no. Only fans, baby.
Chocolate paint. Oh.
Oh God.
Okay. Well, potentially that might be the issue. Don't hate us for saying it. Maybe.
No, take it as a constructive thing. Get some cane training. If you aren't eligible for a dog, you can also get something called a Sonu band, which uses basic radar to detect head height and chest height obstacles and will vibrate if you're about to hit them.
Oh, that's fun. Like a little parking sensor thing.
Yes. They're around $300, so it is an investment, but
It's an investment for your skull health.
Yeah, it is. But apparently they're quite good. For more details, The Blind Life, Sonu band, SONU. Have a look on there. Sam does a really comprehensive test of it, like all sorts of things, like those, like like ribbon banners and stuff like that, like at post offices and shit. He does a test for that. He says it works pretty well.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out Sam of the Blind Life.
Yep.
Helping us lead better lives every time.
We'll get him back on at some point.
All right. Let me just refill before you get to the next
Let me just refill before I get to the next
thing.
Hey, YouTube. What's your favourite type of beer? I was going to suggest to you as well, if you want to do like an ad read for Pinter who haven't come back to us, so I can send them that snippet. I basically say this is what you could have.
That'd be good.
We can do that if you want. Exclusively for YouTube, just cut it out and I can just send it to Pinter.
You'll do it at the end of them and make life easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me take a refreshing sip. This is you, YouTube. I realize I'm not looking at the camera. Don't hate me. I'm blinking. Also, my phone is orange and it blends in with those bookshelves surprisingly well.
I don't know if you can see the top of the bookshelves, but the camera is about one row down from the top.
It's still known where it is on this plane here.
Yeah, so.
I know roughly it's around this area. Hi. Okay. Next bit of feedback from Dark Dan.
Do you want to read the first few words? Because I feel it takes a while to kick in.
Okay. Well, it's only really the first word that Estaban's been picking up.
It's usually the first few I've noticed.
Okay. Dark Dan is saying cane. Let's see if he picks up the rest.
I don't want to have to feed and take care of a dog. It's just a whole lot easier than having to learn a bunch of guide dog commands.
This guy. He's my guy. Dark Dan. Firstly, great name. Double D. Love it. Love everything about this guy. Sweet, sweet soul. He's right on my page. He just wants to go out.
Or they. Dan might be Danielle.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Take that back. I do apologize.
They are on your page.
They're on my page. T's here to be my conscience.
Yep.
Love this person. Absolute legend. Just like, you know what? I've got a busy life. I've got to want to go out and do stuff. I ain't got time to be feeding dogs and like coming back. And you know what? If it's hot and I can't take them out, or it's snowy and they're slipping around like a little fucking dog sledge, I don't know.
You're reading a lot into that circumstance. Dan might live on their own, do absolutely fuck all. They just don't want to look after the dog. You have no idea what their circumstance is.
Oh no. Dan's definitely got a lot going on.
Okay.
They're a proactive, high-powered individual. I feel like they've got a good life.
Okay.
The cane. That's what I'm going to market the cane for. For those that want to succeed. That's really bad, actually. No,
that is
that. Yeah, I kind of just ragged on pretty much all of the visually impaired community, so I'm going to take that back.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. A lot of responsibility. That's not for everyone. I will acknowledge that, but sometimes you don't mind that.
I just had an image of Dark Dan in my head, just playing D&D all the time, and that's why they can't get a dog, and maybe that. Anywho.
Okay. Well, Dark Dan, fair enough. Yeah, if that is that how you feel, then that's absolutely fine.
Keep being sweet.
Yep. Okay. Next one. Tamagona on Reddit.
Tamagotchi.
First words are currently a cane, and I will sort Estaban. I'll upgrade him so that he will read the entirety of it. So we'll sort that.
A cane, but I think I'd like a dog in the future. My cane gets me around pretty well right now, but I think a dog could be even more efficient, especially in bright daylight when I have the worst vision. I don't have a guide dog right now though because 1, I live in an apartment the size of a shipping crate that cannot accommodate a dog, and 2, while I'm still mostly work from home, I don't have enough work for a guide dog. I tend to only go out a couple times a week, and a dog's skills will get rusty if they don't use them enough. Oh,
Okay. Again, few things to unpack here. Love this person. Absolute legend. Name?
Tamagona.
Tamagona. Sounds almost Japanese or something. I think I've just got Tamagotchi in my head. Anyway.
Fuck it now.
I like the fact that they've gone, do you know what? My place of residence isn't sufficient to house a guide dog. Secondly, my lifestyle, if I'm working from home, there's no point in a guide dog if I'm only going out twice a week. Now, I know my theory is what you're going to say is if I had a guide dog, maybe I'd go out more. But are you?
That isn't actually what I was
I'm tossing the hot potato your way, T.
That
It's
isn't...
hot. Grab it. Take a bite.
It's hot. Eat it like...
Can you imagine? I just threw it at your face. Bang.
Eat it like an apple.
Yeah.
Again, refer to an earlier episode for that. I don't even know what episode that was. Okay. Fully understandable. Like, yes, if you're not working a dog enough, then that makes sense. And this person has made some conscious and actually very responsible decisions because they're not set up for it. But they've also, by their expression of the comment, made out that they would like one down the line. So circumstances change, they will be interested in this. So it's something they obviously think that they need. Now, not enough detail has gone into why they think the dog would be more beneficial than the cane, but it's not a decision you make half-heartedly. And they also have shown their forethought to know that a dog is not appropriate at this time. So I would trust their judgment that they would require one if their circumstances change. So this site must be like conducive to wanting and needing one. So I think this is a very smart individual. They know what they need, and they're being very responsible about this. So absolutely fine. Yeah. Use your cane. If a dog's right for you down the line, the organisation will tell you if it's not right for you. But in the meantime, it sounds like you've got a solid head on your shoulders.
I'm loving this person. Tamagotchi, I'm going to give you the triple S, the seesaw salute. Well done for fucking working.
The seesaw salute, is that a fucking thing now?
I don't know. Wow. Yeah. Triple S.
Fucking hell.
Good on you, and good on you for making good choices. Again, another fucking visual legend.
Okay. Do you want the next one?
But yeah, it's the kind of format of this episode.
Okay. Overall twist on Reddit. Let's go.
Had really thorough cane training growing up, and I've always been pretty comfortable with it, and never felt the need to switch over to a guide dog. I don't really see any particular drawbacks to using a cane, for me, at least. I still have a decent walking speed, and navigate around obstacles really well. Charlie on Twitter, Team Guide.
Okay.
Who was that one?
So this is overall twist.
Oh, they're called overall. Actually, I know this is a little bit off topic. What's your favorite kind of twist?
Cheese.
Cheese twists are fucking banging. I'm so glad you said that. It is a leading question.
It wasn't going to be a Walls twist or Twister.
Yeah, they're shit.
They're not good.
I don't. Why? How? Who's buying it? The only thing worse than a twister, fab. Fabs are wank.
They are fucking bad. Okay, we're digressing. This is a slide topic. Sorry. Here's thinking of ice cream, which is hot as fuck.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I can just wipe sweat off me.
Right. This
Thank
person,
you,
major twist, whatever the name is.
Overall twist.
Well, have you ever felt like this, where strange things happen?
That was a weird show.
Look, we're digressing to
an Australian horror thriller kids show based in in a lighthouse. It's weird. It's weird.
Fucking banging, mate. Right, much like this person as well. What I'm getting from this is right. And there seems to be an overall theme here. Is maybe this is my hypothesis, is that if your sight starts to deteriorate, maybe that's when a guide dog will become more beneficial. I feel a lot of these people some are semi-sighted still with the cane, and well, this person's just said they're fucking fine with it. So again, Seesaw salute, man. Fucking good walking speed. Again, sounds like someone that powers around town. Zero fucks given. And I'm like, yes, well done.
That's fair. I mean, like with all of these, we don't know the situation, like the personal circumstance and situation.
I think I know it absolutely perfectly by making it up in my head just now.
So for all I know, this individual only goes to the shop once a week on a route that is always going to be the same, very local area. They don't need it there. You can walk quite quick because they know there's not going to be no obstacles in the way. Like, we don't know this. So a lot of these you've got to take with a pinch of salt because, as we established in the last 2 episodes, it's very situational to the person and the location.
Nah, I feel the confidence coming through in this person.
Well, Estaban's done a really good job then, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, no, but it's just in the way they've written it.
Okay.
Right, look, here's another thing as well. This kind of leads back to the on that, but also the previous one. If you're only going out twice a week, just make an effort to do one more route a week, right? And then just increase it like every month. It's just going to build your confidence. It's going to fucking suck at first, but then, you know, the more you do it, it's like anything, isn't it?
Well, then I can also throw at you, going back to one of our first bits of feedback, situational awareness. Kane doesn't have that. So if you're in a built-up area, that's going to be very intimidating.
Yeah. But the more you do it, the more you're going to get to know it, aren't you?
Well, no, you'll gain a thicker skin. It doesn't mean you'll get used to it. Standard sports can be put anywhere.
Right. But that could happen on your regular routes. Someone could just put a bin out.
But a dog will handle it.
Yeah. I'm not saying that. That's not really my point in this. The point, the dog will handle that. I'll give you that. Yeah, but a cane will hit that, and you just walk around it.
Yeah, but what about like overhanging awning and stuff like that?
Right, we're going back to the overhanging thing, aren't we? I feel like this is where the dog really excels.
Yeah, overhanging shit.
Do you know, actually,
you're in a vineyard for dog, forget about it.
Do you know what? Another point that I forgot to raise earlier was someone like, I think a dog would be more beneficial on bright days. I'm like, well, let's hope it's not really fucking hot. Otherwise, you ain't taking your dog out.
Yeah, but it depends where they live. Bright doesn't mean hot.
Well, that's it. Let's hope it's fucking.
They could live in
Icelandic
Oslo.
summer or something.
Yeah.
Did you say Iceland as well?
I said Oslo.
Oh, okay. Well, it's still Viking-y, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, what isn't?
Fucking France.
Yeah. No. Do you know what though? Hats off to France at the moment. They're dealing with a lot of wildfires. They will complain about the heat here, but the south of France is dealing with a lot of wildfires, and that fucking sucks.
Seesaw salute to south of France.
Yep, absolutely. Because like 1,000 firefighters have been conscripted from multiple countries in Europe to try and stop people losing their homes. Like, it's getting that bad.
Sidebar: I had to choose my new fire buddies today at work.
And who do you choose? Yourself?
I think it's not so much about the choosing. It's more about the demeaning factor that at the age of 34, where I have to have 2 fucking fire buddies to get myself out of the building.
Is a depressing thing. And also on point with this, if you have a guide dog, you have to leave it behind in the event of a fire.
Yeah, you can leave your cane behind as well, though.
Yeah, but the cane ain't gonna have a horrible time in a fiery building.
No, it's true. There's no emotional attachment.
So that's also a downside to being a guide dog owner. It's actually in my work evacuation documents. If someone can get the dog without hindering them, then they can. But if there's no one around to do it, then you have to leave the dog.
Sucks.
Yep, absolutely.
And on that depressing note, let's move on.
Okay, we're on to Twitter now.
Move on to Estaban.
Mr. Estaban, or Monsieur Estaban. So, this is Charlie on Twitter. Charlie, yes. The first words are Team Guide Dog.
I'll
wait for that.
I wonder what this could be in favour of.
Canes.
Guide dog, but I have wrist injuries, so find holding and using a long cane painful. Also was bullied QT school for using it and kids would hide it. I find having a guide dog that behavior is less. However, training with a guide dog is work and requires giving up some privacy when in training. But a long cane can also be hard to learn as you have to walk into things to find them. So it really depends on the person. No option is wrong so long as you can be independent. Lit.
There you go. So wrist injury.
Again, there's so much like to unpack on this. Firstly, kids with hide the cane. Kids are fucking dicks. But at the same time, right? Look,
dare I say,
that shit will
bullying
make you
with-
stronger.
bullying with a dog is not going to happen as much.
No, it probably won't.
People love dogs.
They do.
So I think you would make more friends with a dog than have bullies.
You definitely make more friends with a dog than salad.
Yeah.
The point, you can't hide a dog
Yeah.
either.
No.
Not a fucking Labrador anyway.
No.
Ain't no one having a guide chihuahua, are they?
No.
Okay. So there was that point. Fine, I get that. People would hide the stick. A lot of that comes down to your particular, I'm gonna say, demeanor. Like, I had friends, and I don't think they necessarily hide it to spite me or anything like that, but we did fuck around with it quite a lot.
Yeah, but again, this is talking about you.
Yeah.
I had issues, and I think a lot of people in the VI community will have had that issue. I think you are extremely lucky with
I probably
how
yeah.
you had like your friends and the makeup of that sort of thing.
But I still maintain that was largely due to the fact of how I acted around my own disability.
Maybe so. But
I make out that it doesn't bother me, and I'm happy to joke and play along with that sort of shit. And other people aren't bothered either.
But some people would have done the same thing as you and not had that result. I think
Possibly.
you've got to be lucky in that.
I don't think it's a luck thing.
I don't think your approach is necessarily a strategy to avoid it.
See, I think it is. I would recommend that strategy to anyone.
Okay.
If it's as a child, and again, this is a little bit off topic, but if you're a kid and you're growing up and you've got a disability, you should wholeheartedly embrace that and take the piss out of yourself for the regards to your disability.
Okay.
But
So
because I think more people are, if you're fine around it, other people are fine around it.
I don't think it's being fine. I think it's about people getting a cheap laugh at someone else's expense.
You'll always get that. But if you show that it bothers you, people will do it more because they know it bothers you.
Oh yeah, but this is a bigger topic. This is a bigger topic.
Yeah, maybe we should do an episode on bullying.
I think maybe we should.
Okay, come back to us, Reddit.
Yep.
What else was in this thing?
Okay, so lack of privacy when it comes down to training.
Okay.
I didn't really have that. I've done both residential in a hotel, which yeah, it was very intense.
I think you said it was in a hotel.
And my recent training was at home. I didn't really feel that it was that impactful, but various teams across the country are going to be different with this. So it depends who you have. I was always quite fine with it.
Are they saying, well, I don't get what they mean by invade your privacy.
I think it's more along the lines of like when you're on residential in a hotel, like it's full on, like you're there. You're not private, like from dawn till dusk. You're with like people from guide dogs
Right.
and stuff like that. Like you don't have any downtime.
Where
It's
cane
very
training is
intense.
like 1 or 2 hours a week for like 6 weeks, and then you just go.
That's
Yeah.
it. So it's less hands-on.
Well,
It is.
not physically, but
Well, no, it's about the same.
okay. Another thing whilst we're on that, actually, another thing I want to bring up is they said that basically had some sort of arm or hand injury, what makes it difficult to swing a cane. Now, firstly, cane technique. If you're using a cane properly, you barely have to use your hand. It's a very short movement of the wrist. And again, I don't know if you've injured your arm in that particular way. You might not be able to do that, in which case, yeah, fine. I get the whole dog thing. But surely, if you're still holding a dog, don't you have to sort of pull and rein him? Help me out, T.
No, not really.
No. Well, then shut my mouth.
And let me be a prick here, but you are a man who is not devoid of having wrist pain.
Yeah, no, true.
and you are an exclusive long cane user,
Hmm.
and that wrist pain is in your right wrist, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it was for a while. I had it for about 6 months. I got tennis elbow, didn't
Okay, and how did you get that?
I? It could have been down to the cane use. I don't
Not from playing tennis.
know. Yeah, it's very true. I'm okay. Yeah, fine. I'll hold my hands up. Yeah, it probably is largely down to use a cane, but
I thought you said you didn't have to move it that much.
you don't.
So how did you get tennis elbow?
And even with tennis elbow, I could still use my cane.
With comfort?
Probably. Okay, so at that point, my walk to work was roughly 25 to 30 minutes. So I'm using that in one go at a cane, 25 to 30 minutes, twice a day. So you're looking like an hour's use worth of cane back and forth. I would argue that in most cases, that's probably not a scenario that most people would do. But yeah, oh, my hands up. It minimal movement, and yeah, the cane would have been a problem. It potentially, well, there's a good chance it did cause that injury. But at the same time, if I'm walking to work, I have to walk to work in all weathers, and I can't do that with a guide dog.
True.
So it's either getting a cab, which is going to cost me money, unless you use access to work, in which case it's probably going to cost you more money in the long term, or the short term, actually. Yeah, okay, yeah. Do you know what? This is a point that wasn't brought up. Here's a bad point about the cane: can cause you injury if you're using it for long periods of time.
Yep.
And from what you're saying, a dog will not do that.
No.
Okay, that's a good point for guide dogs, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow, we're coming up with new shit just for other people's feedback.
Nice.
Okay,
let's move on to the next bit.
Okay.
Well, we're nearly to the end now. Okay, this is Lynn on Twitter.
Not a great name.
First word is personally.
Personally, I love my cane and won't be applying for a guide dog. I did look into it 5 years ago. I don't go out every day due to my health. I don't live in a home suitable for a dog, no secure outdoor space. I recognize others prefer a dog. It shouldn't be a debate. You do you.
Okay, this is a great one to end on. Lynn, I'm sorry that I badmouth your name straight off the bat. Sometimes the simple ones are the best ones. So, you know what? They're right. And it kind of it's brought it back to some of the things that were brought up over the course of this masturbate. And if you don't have the room for a dog, that's something to factor in, isn't it?
Yep.
Cane can be used in all situations, no matter where you are, no matter who you are. Whereas guide dogs, sorry, not the case.
True. But I also say that the adaptive nature of a guide dog, situational awareness, is also a huge advantage.
Great,
that a cane doesn't have.
Yeah, but you can't even have a guide dog if you don't have the actual space to house one.
True, but we
Anyone
subtract
can house
that.
a cane.
I'm trying to put the silver lining on the dog versus a cane here, and you still be the cunt about it.
Yeah, because I feel so strongly about cane, mate.
Okay,
this is what the debate's about.
I feel strongly
Don't get
about
butthurt just because you can't have a dog if you live in a shoebox.
Okay, that's fine. So if you've got no arms,
I mean, the dog's going to be tough if you've got no arms as well, unless you're riding it.
You can attach it to your belt.
Do you know what? Some people, from seeing things differently, spoke to a person that was in a wheelchair and had a guide dog. Now, I can only assume it's like some sort of dog sled scenario. That's how I envision it.
Yeah, I imagine that a lot of people think that.
I imagine it's nothing like the case, but in my head, I'm just the person in the wheelchair's going, yeah, yeah.
I love it. I'm not going to cripple
and
my legs.
And I don't know why that came to me with no arms versus the not use of someone's legs. Not even an amputee, just the not full functioning of someone's legs. But still, if you've got no arms, I imagine a dog will all maybe you can. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how that would work.
I think that's an amazing one to end on, but we still have one more.
Oh, this is your
Sir Chadlington.
Oh god, also, you called him Chadlington earlier. You need to make a name and stick with it.
Chadlington.
Sounds like a lord.
Sir Chadlington.
The third of Chadlington Manor.
I'm going to say the second.
Okay.
There are not that many Chadlingtons. And this is what Chadlington had to say. The first words are, I like.
Oh, wait. I was hoping you could read it in his voice.
I mean, you're asking me to read.
No, let Esteban do it. Why have I got on board with this?
I can try reading
No.
it, but it's
Hey guys, I
right.
can't really do a Chad voice. That was my impression. Sorry, Chad.
it's closer than mine would have been. Okay, so Chadlington likes both.
Both personally, but I'm more confident with my guide dog. I don't get the same level of safety using my cane. I see the benefits of both, but will always go guide dog.
Short and sweet.
Okay.
Confidence.
Right. This is another thing that someone else said as well. They're like, oh, when you use a cane, you have to learn by walking into things. What? Like, I feel like all these people that are using canes and don't like them, it's just down to poor training.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, back to Chad's one. Confidence. Yeah, this is actually a point that you raised, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you feel more confident with a. The thing is, I think this might be down to the individual, because I don't think I could trust or put my trust in an animal. I'd much rather trust myself.
It takes time.
Excuse me.
It takes time. I'm not gonna lie. It does take time. I'm still learning to trust Ted.
This is Bellend.
Ted.
He's a Ted End. They've literally renamed it.
He's a young boy who's still learning. Young man. So this was very cane heavy.
Do you think?
I think it was. But here's a curveball.
It's going to be this poll, isn't it?
I threw a poll on our website.
It did.
Okay.
How big was the poll?
Well, 10 people.
So
as much feedback as we got.
I'm just going to cut that bit out.
And on the poll, 57% were members of Dog Society.
Right. You going with Dog Society?
Yep. And 43 were Cane Immunity.
I don't like any of those things. Look, that's barely a pass, isn't it, for dogs? I mean, Brexit passed on less, admittedly, but it's not.
We're talking 14%.
Yeah, it's not a lot, though, is it?
Yeah,
If you said, "Oh, roll this dice, you've got a 14% chance of living," would you take those odds?
Can I have the odds of not can I just not do it and still live?
No. You got to roll the dice. Come on, that's the game.
I mean, I don't know how long I could be happy about those odds.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you probably wouldn't take it, would you?
Well, no, you said I had to take it.
Yeah, no. I'm going back on it now.
You're full of shit.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck is your point?
The point is 14% is not a lot.
Right.
It's roughly half and half, isn't it? I mean, there's like...
It's not. It's not half and half. It's 14%.
No. 14% is the difference. The 7% would have made it half and half.
Yeah.
7%'s fuck all.
Well, it depends what numbers you're working with.
Would you be happy, for example, right, if a country's motion passed on a 57% vote?
Well, here we fucking go. Here we fucking go. Right. Good night, everybody. Can you imagine? We just stopped
end
there.
topic. Yeah. We should end it there.
You reckon?
Yeah, we don't need to go into anything more, do we? Like, right. I don't know. People are. I guess it's as the person said pre-Chad. You do you.
Yes.
My G.
Yes. Lynn on Twitter had it. Right. Better rights.
Seesaw salute.
What works for you works for you. Right. This isn't even a debate. We did it for fun. It's not a debate. What works for you works for you.
We literally called it masturbate.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, it's a bit of fun. But what works for you works for you. It's fine. Right. No one's trying to convince you to do something else.
I am.
If you're eligible for a dog and can get a dog, then it's right for you. Right. If you're happy with your cane and you don't want a dog, again, absolutely go for it.
And if your cane's missing objects, get some more training.
Yeah, get more training. Like
that does feel a little bit like some people are missing training on that.
And if the issue persists, then maybe talk to one of these organisations in your respective country about a dog.
Yeah,
And do a
there's
trial
local
walk.
charities around. Yeah.
Yeah, do a trial walk. See if it works for you.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
The guide dogs do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, until next time.
We've come to zero conclusions on this.
Well, we were never going to.
Oh.
That
Renders everything pointless.
Gets more listens, doesn't it?
Jesus.
Let's comb them all in.
Boring ourselves out. I didn't realise this was your MO, to be honest.
Until next time.
All right, we'll see you then. Bye.
Cease or salute, apparently.
Thanks for listening to the Seesaw Podcast.
You can find us on Twitter at Seesaw Pod, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, and YouTube at Seesaw Podcast. You can also email us at seesawpodcast@gmail.com. Like, rate, review, and subscribe, and then you can also find us on TikTok, but get us on all the other places.